The Last Boy on Earth, a bedtime adventure. Once upon a time, in a faraway future where the world was unlike anything we know today, there lived a brave little boy named Milo. Milo was different from other children because he was the last child on Earth, a planet that had transformed from the beautiful green paradise it once was. Instead of lush forests and sparkling oceans, there were now tall, crumbling buildings, quiet cities, and endless deserts made of rusty old machines. But Milo wasn't lonely. He had a special friend named Remy, a shiny robot with a heart as bright as Milo's smile. Remy wasn't just any robot. He could fly, lift heavy things, and even play music from long ago, bringing a little bit of the old world back to life. Every morning, Milo would wake up in his small, cozy home made of metal scraps, soft blankets, and colorful tapestries he had found on his adventures. The sunlight would filter through the cracks in the walls, casting playful patterns on the floor. Milo would stretch his arms wide, greeting the new day with a smile. Remy would power up with a cheerful whir, his blue eyes glowing warmly, and they would share their favorite breakfast, freeze-dried fruit and crunchy crackers. It wasn't like the fresh fruits Milo had read about in old books, but it was their special morning ritual, and they wouldn't have it any other way. "Ready for today's adventure, Remy?" Milo would ask, tying his worn-out boots and adjusting his explorer hat that he had stitched together from scraps of old cloth. Remy would respond with a joyful beep and a playful spin in the air, eager to see what the day would bring. Together, they would set off into the wide, mysterious world, exploring the ruins of old cities where the streets were quiet and the wind whispered secrets of a forgotten past. One of Milo's favorite places was an old library hidden beneath the vines and crumbling stones of a forgotten town. The library was dusty and dim, with tall shelves that reached all the way up to the ceiling, filled with books from a time when the world was full of people. Milo loved sitting on the cool marble floor, flipping through pages of stories about the Earth's past. About big blue oceans, towering green forests, animals of every kind, and people who once laughed, played, and lived together. He would read to Remy, pointing out pictures of dolphins leaping through the waves, birds soaring high in the sky, and families having picnics in parks filled with flowers. One quiet afternoon, as they sat in the library, Milo discovered a worn-out, tattered book titled The Family Album. Inside were pictures of smiling families, children playing with their parents, and cozy homes filled with warmth and love. Milo traced his fingers over the photographs, his heart filling with both wonder and longing. He had always dreamed of having a family, just like the ones in the book. Milo turned to Remy, his eyes sparkling with determination. "Let's go on a big adventure to find a family, Remy," he exclaimed. Remy beeped and spun with excitement, his glowing eyes reflecting Milo's enthusiasm. The two friends packed their bags with snacks, water, and a hand-drawn map they had made together. A map marked with all the places they had explored and the ones they still dreamed of visiting. They set off on their grand journey, traveling across vast deserts made of old machines and mountains of rusty cars that glinted like jewels in the sunlight. Sometimes the roads were tough, with sharp rocks and broken bridges that seemed impossible to cross. But Remy always found a way, lifting Milo when the path was too steep or using his laser to clear a safe route. Milo would laugh, brushing off the dust from his clothes, and they would keep moving, singing songs from old movies and making up wild stories about their next big discovery. As they ventured deeper into the world, they encountered many strange and wonderful sights. They walked through fields of metal flowers that glowed softly in the dark, their petals made from old soda cans and wires. The flowers would sway gently, as if whispering secrets of the past. In one abandoned city, they found a playground covered in vines, with rusty swings and slides that creaked in the wind. Milo climbed onto the swing, pushing off with his feet and flying high into the sky, laughing as Remy spun around him, making joyful beeping sounds. One day, they found an old amusement park, hidden behind a wall of thorny bushes. The roller coasters stood like giant skeletons against the sky, and the Ferris wheel was still, its once bright colors faded by time. Milo and Remy wandered through the park, imagining the laughter and fun that once filled the air. They played in the bumper cars, Milo steering while Remy beeped wildly, pretending to race through the empty tracks. For a moment, it felt like the world was alive again, filled with joy and adventure. Days turned into weeks, and the world around them grew stranger and more magical. They wandered through forests of twisted metal where old traffic lights blinked like stars in the night and rivers that had turned to glass, reflecting the pink and orange hues of the sky. Along the way, they met strange creatures that had adapted to the new world, like glowing lizards that darted across the ground and giant moths with wings that shimmered like stained glass windows. Each new discovery filled Milo with wonder, and each challenge they faced made him feel braver and more determined. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky with shades of gold, purple, and pink, Milo noticed something unusual in the distance, a tiny twinkling light. His heart fluttered with excitement. Was it another robot, a signal from someone else? Or perhaps, just perhaps, something even more extraordinary? With a burst of excitement, Milo and Remy raced toward the light, their footsteps echoing against the quiet landscape. As they drew nearer, the light grew brighter, and Milo's eyes widened in wonder. Hidden beneath the ruins of an old city was a secret underground entrance, glowing softly. They climbed down a rusty ladder, carefully navigating the dark, winding tunnel. Milo's heart pounded with each step, and Remy's lights flickered softly, guiding the way like tiny stars. At the end of the tunnel, they found a heavy metal door with a small, warm window glowing from within. Milo knocked, his hand trembling with anticipation. The door creaked open, and there stood the Winters, the last family on Earth. Mr. Winter was a tall, kind man with gentle eyes and a welcoming smile. He wore round glasses that sat on the tip of his nose, and he always had a book tucked under his arm, ready to share a story. Mrs. Winter was an inventive spirit, clever and creative, with her hair tied back in a messy bun and her hands always busy fixing or building something extraordinary. And then there was Lily, a girl Milo's age, with wild, curly hair and a grin that sparkled with mischief and joy. "Welcome," Mr. Winter said warmly, opening his arms wide. Milo felt a rush of happiness fill his heart. For the first time, he wasn't just Milo, the last boy on Earth. He was Milo, part of a family. The Winters welcomed Milo and Remy into their cozy underground home. It was a colorful place, filled with mismatched furniture, handmade decorations, and walls covered in drawings of stars, planets, and faraway places. In one corner was a little garden where tiny plants grew inside glass containers, each one tended with love by Mrs. Winter. Milo watched in awe as she showed him how to plant seeds and care for the delicate sprouts. Lily was overjoyed to have a new friend. She and Milo spent hours playing games, exploring every hidden corner of the underground city, and dreaming up new adventures. They would climb up to the rooftops to watch the sunset, sharing stories about what life used to be like and imagining what their future could hold. They would build forts out of old crates and sheets, pretending they were explorers on a faraway planet, and spend the night telling each other made-up stories under the glow of lanterns. Remy and Mr. Winter often joined them, bringing cups of hot cocoa made from powdered milk and sharing tales of the old world that filled their hearts with wonder. But as the days passed, the Winters realized that their underground home could not last forever. The Earth was growing tired, and the world above was changing too fast. The sky was often gray, and the air sometimes difficult to breathe. So, the Winters devised a bold and extraordinary plan to find a new home among the stars. They had been secretly building a spaceship in a hidden garage, filling it with plants, books, and memories of Earth. It wasn't perfect, but it was their best hope for a new beginning. One evening, as they all sat together under the soft glow of their cozy home, Mr. Winter turned to Milo with a gentle smile. "We want you to come with us, Milo. You and Remy," he said kindly. Milo's eyes welled with tears of joy. He had found the family he had always dreamed of, and now they were inviting him to join them on their greatest adventure yet. The day of the launch was filled with excitement and a touch of sadness. They packed everything they could carry: seeds, tools, books, and precious memories of the world they were leaving behind. As Milo stood at the window of the spaceship, his hand pressed against the glass, he watched the Earth grow smaller and smaller, feeling a mix of emotions. He was happy to be with his new family, but a part of him would always miss the only home he had ever known. As the spaceship soared through the vast, starry sky, past twinkling stars and colorful planets, Milo knew something wonderful. He was no longer just the last boy on Earth. He was part of a family of explorers, dreamers, and adventurers. They didn't know exactly where they were going, but they were certain they would find a new world where flowers would bloom, animals would play, and everyone would have a place to call home. Every night, as Milo drifted off to sleep in his cozy bed on the spaceship, Remy by his side, he dreamed of the new world they would one day find. A world where the sky was blue, the air was fresh, and no one would ever be alone again. Milo knew that no matter where they ended up, as long as they were together, they would be happy. And so, Milo, Remy, Lily, and the Winters flew on through the great wide universe, carrying with them the most important things of all: hope, love, and the promise of a new tomorrow. The end. This story was created by Robert A. and Carlos Z. This is a free original story created with the purpose to help children at bedtime. Sweet dreams. Remember, just like Milo, you too can find family, friendship, and adventure in the most unexpected places. The universe is full of wonders waiting for you to explore.